It's interesting, we talked about seizing the gender and how to raise the floor and the ceiling, and sometimes I made a very simple question. We thought we'd ask a group of students who've been with us for the day, acting as student reporters. They may have talked to a number of you during the day, and I'm going to invite Izzy, Scylla and Kai to come and join me, and they've got they said, well, we've got 5 simple answers for you, and I think they're going to tell you some of them now, so welcome to each of you. They're from Swavesey Village College, and I have very fond memories of Swavesey for lots of reasons. One's a sad reason, that the late head Martin Bacon was somebody who had it held in particularly high regard, and he was one of the first heads to recognise that every student should achieve, and he set a goal of every student getting at least a level 2. And he invited me to do something which told me a lot about its sense of humour. He invited me at one point to open their new vocational unit, which when I got there I discovered was primarily their hairdressing suite. And I think he was making a very pointed and very direct comment. Anyway, to the case and your advice. And Swavesey is a school, part of our student network, and has invested massively in student leadership and student voice. But your reflections on what we should do. And we're going to begin with Izzy. Thank you.
Hi, we are from Cambridge. We've been going around today, and we might have interviewed some of you about sort of the roles we think in improving schools. I'm going to talk about technology and social media, which has been sort of a base for today. We all know that technology is not going to go anywhere, it's not going to go away anytime soon. So instead of just sort of putting it away, we think you should use it to our advantage and to the most beneficial way we can. We, unlike other schools, we don't use any iPads or anything, just old-fashioned pen and paper. And we think that technology is great. However, the one thing that I personally find is as a distraction is social media. Even if you're revising or whatever, I think it's a distraction. And it detracts from the whole sort of learning skills. So instead of maybe open up a book to find something, it'll just be, I'll just Google that. Or instead of asking your parents, I'll just Google that. And I think that's what detracts from it. And we've said something to improve. A lot of people said today they use sort of Twitter for updates and for keeping in touch with the students and also with the teachers. And we don't know if that's something that schools would like to do. I mean, maybe we could do that something more in our school. But we think it depends on the school and the teachers and the students and what they're willing to do with the risk of social media. Thank you.
Thank you. I looked at 2 aspects of students and students' involvement. The first one was student leadership in a school. We are all house leaders of different houses. At Swavesey, we have the system of there's 6 houses, and then in each house there's different forms. So I think there's 11 forms per house. And the way that every student's voice is heard is that we have house meetings. So that's 11 forms in one house. There's a representative for each form. And that representative will talk to their entire form and make sure that everybody who has an issue to raise about the school gets raised, and then that gets passed on to us. And then we go to school council where we discuss ideas, and then any ideas from that can be taken right up to the principal. So I think this is a really good system to use in schools because it means that every person's voice is heard. Anyone who has an issue can raise it. Obviously, they're not all going to get taken up because some of them just wouldn't be possible. But it means that everybody's voice is heard. And I think it's also good because the principals can hear from what the students think and the students' perspective. The other way we thought about improving was more a learning aspect and the students' involvement in teaching and learning. For example, in our maths class a while ago, we did a system where we learnt about percentages, and then we got split into groups, and each group had to teach the class on an aspect of that. And I think that's a really good way to develop learning because it also gives you the skills to teach another set of students. But on top of that, to be able to teach something, you've got to know it well enough. So it means that every student makes sure that they know what they're doing, and it gets everyone involved. And a response from one of the interview questions we got earlier was that possibly in the future, students can actually sit with teachers and plan some lessons because students are the ones that know what they want when they walk into the classroom, and they know how they're going to learn more effectively. So I mean, it's just an idea, but possibly in the future, students and teachers could work together a lot more on the actual planning of lessons and how that's going to work. Thank you.
Okay.
So I looked at the sort of communication aspect of this. So as sort of Scylla described, we have a house council system and then a school council system, which is a little bit further, which goes on to the senior leadership team. So we then thought, just an idea we had discussing with the other schools that we were working with today, why not take the school council at Swavesey and then go and work with different schools around Cambridgeshire. So we're part of a trust of schools with 5 or 6 different schools. So we thought, why not share and receive some different tips of what's working, what isn't working, how can we improve this. So that way it gives the schools that maybe aren't as successful as, say, we are, a chance to maybe improve on some things. So yeah, that gives less fortunate schools a chance to develop the school a little bit further. We also thought that we could also send students that are student leaders, so such as ourselves, to go and help students from different schools as well. This also helps, as it would give people an opportunity to work with a variety of different people, not necessarily that we know, so obviously from different schools. So we could do like a day or a 2-day swap to go and experience a different school. This could help, once we come back to the school, our own school, we could feed back again to our senior leadership team and just say, look, they do this really well, why don't we do this? It could be a really valid point. We do this currently in school with sort of maths mentors teaching other people maths who might be struggling. But so why could we not do this with, say, English or maths or numeracy or whatever? So that was just a point we had. Okay, I think that's all. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. So our thanks to Izzy, Scylla and Kai and the other students who've contributed to sessions during the day. We're very proud of our school-to-school student network and it's an important part of what we do, and it keeps us grounded.